Hey, everybody. Welcome to Ladies Power Lunch. Thank you for joining us. So, I have with me a very, very dear friend of mine and of yours. You guys might remember Cornell Thomas. He was our keynote speaker for Ladies Power Lunch Spring Summit back in, I want to say 2019. Does anybody remember 2019? Did 2019 even exist? Like we've been caught in this loop of weirdness for the last almost 2 years now. Nobody remembers a time before, but I want to remind you there was a time before, and we used to have summits and we used to be in person. And when we used to be in person, Cornell was one of our very, very special guests. And it was really lovely to have him come share with us how to up level our businesses. So today, you heard it here first, ladies and a few amazing men. You heard it here first. Cornell has something new and exciting that he has birthed into the world, and he is ready to share it with all of us. But before you do that, Cornell, can you just share with the very few people who are part of our community who somehow, I don't know, maybe they've been hiding under a rock, I don't know, but somehow they don't know who you are and they don't already love you. Can you share who you are and what it is that you do in the world?
Sure. First, thank you very much for having me. It's always a pleasure, Doc. Second, my name is Cornell Thomas. I'm an international speaker, five-time author, corporate trainer, and speaking coach from New Jersey. I met Dr. Devia years ago and got the opportunity to speak and be a keynote at her amazing event. And I remember being there for probably an hour and a half, 2 hours almost after the event, just talking to people, all of you, and having amazing conversations. The energy was beautiful. There's hundreds of people there. So I'm very connected with Dr. Devia, and I love the message that she puts out and the groups that she brings together. She is a collector of great souls, and I mean that by everybody that comes in presence with this amazing woman. They're good people and it's good energy, and that's why I want to come on here today and talk about what I'm doing now.
So, Cornell, what have you been up to since we saw you last? What is this new thing that you're bringing into the world?
I have been up to a lot. So since I've last saw you, um, I believe I went to Dubai twice. I spoke in Saudi Arabia, Africa, Switzerland for the first time. So I've been traveling a lot. The last year and a half, 2 years have been a little bit difficult to travel because of all the stuff that's going on in the world. But I'm still going out a little bit. I would say a year and a half ago, I decided I had so many people ask me, Cornell, I want to get into speaking or I want to present better and et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, well, I'm just going to start a course. So I started a course. I called it at that time, the course was actually called Get in the Game. And we had groups of people that went to get into speaking. It was a 3-month course. And then I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, as things start to open up and people start to go back to work, not everybody has the time to join the 3-month course. So I'm like, well, what can I do where I can still give a ton of value for a day or a day and a half and it be time friendly and cost friendly? And I said, well, let me start doing some speaker workshops. So wherever I go, let me start doing like it doesn't matter if I go when I go back to Dubai or wherever. Let me start doing speaker workshops. So I was excited to connect with Marianne Cruz, who we all know, and do one close because I'm usually like on a plane. So I'm like, if I can do one in Connecticut, that'd be amazing. So I want my launch, the first one to be, first one in this country to be in Connecticut. We did a test run in Dubai 6 months ago, and it went amazing. And so the workshop just involves people. You don't have to want to be a speaker. You could be an entrepreneur. You could be in direct marketing. It could be anybody that wants to just speak more effectively, present better. And a lot of that is, as you know, because you do it very well, is confidence and like how you show up and articulating your message. So if any, and I think that goes like, through any demographic. I think there's so many people that are like, man, even if it's a one-on-one setting, I want to be able to speak a more, speak in an articulate way where people understand a clear and concise way of what I'm saying. So this is what it's about. I'm also have a background in improv comedy, so that's another part of the workshop. It's going to be very fun and interactive, where we can be silly geese for a little bit, and it's not going to be just a sit down like serious talk. It's going to be more of us getting up and sharing energy and learning these tips to present more effectively.
So I love that you bring your improv comedy background into this whole idea of speaking. I was talking to one of my dear friends and yours, Annie Garland, and she is also a celebrated speaker. We were talking just this morning, and one of the things that the conclusions that we came to is that if you are speaking on any kind of topic, what's really important is that you can engage your audience. And there's nothing that engages more than fun and humor. And so just being playful about it and making it more fun really makes a difference. I was explaining to her about my background in speaking and how, you know, before this was my life, I was in corporate and I was a trainer training other doctors about drugs that we were going to do drug trials for. And so you can imagine that that kind of material is very dry, like not, not
Yeah.
at all
You're like,
lending,
how do I make this fun?
not the thing that you would think would be fun, but because my spirit is joy and my spirit is fun, and that's what I'm all about and what I'm trying to bring to the table at all times. We found a way to make that boring stuff fun, and it made a difference because people learned a whole lot better when you inject some humor into it. So I love that you're bringing humor to the platform that you're going to be teaching. Tell us a little bit more about when,
Yeah,
where, all the details, how people can connect with this if this is speaking to them.
sure. So it's December. It's great because we're doing it in the C3 space, which is Marianne's
Yes.
incubator that she has there. It's in East Hartford, Connecticut. It's December 10th and 12th through 12th. But because of the restrictions and all the things that we have, and just to keep people nice and safe and comfortable, uh, we are having 8 people on Friday, and then a separate group of 8 on Saturday, and then on Sunday, anybody that wants to be get a VIP ticket is a breakfast and like a small mastermind with me to kind of like go over everything, even if it's your specific occupation or your specific like say for you, you're like, okay, Cornell, I love the presenting stuff, but I'm doing this. I'm a lawyer and I want to do this in front of, like, how would I present in a court of law? And then we just kind of break down specifically like how you would take what you just learned and put it towards whatever it is that you do, right? So it's 2 separate groups, and then it's just first come first serve on Sunday morning from 8 to 12. So we get more of like a one-on-one small group setting, which is great. And I think with 8 people and not having like 20, 40 people, I think it makes people a little bit more comfortable to get up there and kind of leave their reservations behind and not worry about, what do I look like? Because that's one of the biggest things when it comes to speaking, as we're so concerned with what people think about us that we're keeping our messages and our stories, or even our companies inside, and we're not sharing it, and we're wondering why we're not successful because we're worried about what other people think instead of realizing that our message is important, our purpose is important. And if you can just kind of get over yourself, there's so much that you can share on the planet, and enhance your life or someone else's life, or both of your lives.
Awesome. I love that. I love the format that you're using. And I love that, you know, even though we are in a time that's different, there are restrictions for when it comes to getting together, you've all still found a way that we can get together and we can learn from each other. Our most recent summit, our fall summit, the focus was be the beacon, shine your light as brightly as you can. And a part of that is getting out there in front of large groups of people and expressing what it is that you feel strongly about. And you want to be able to do that in the best way possible when, okay, now you've gathered the audience. Now what? What are you going to say? How are you going to engage them? And it's really wonderful that you're offering an opportunity for us to learn how to shine our light. at its
Yeah,
brightest.
Be the Beacon is beautiful. That's
Yes.
beautiful. I love that. That's a t-shirt right there, Doc. So
It's a t-shirt.
no,
You could get
beautiful.
it at shop.ladiespowerlunch.com.
See that segue? See that segue? How I didn't even know it was a t-shirt. But just I love the sound of it. Be
It's
the
a
Beacon.
book. You could get it at
Yeah.
shop.ladiespowerlunch.com. You can access some of our summits if you purchase a VIP pass. It's a wonderful, wonderful concept, but okay, we need to take it from concept to execution. And what you're offering, Cornell, is an opportunity for us to learn exactly how to get in front of people and express our beacon, express the thing that we feel really passionately about,
Yeah.
express the thing that is actually going to be the one thing that changes the world
Yeah.
and
Before we
causes that ripple effect.
connected today, I was at a law firm and I'm doing this workshop for, I mean, there's 91,870 lawyers in New Jersey. And we're
Mhm.
working our way how to do this workshop and help lawyers how to present better in a court of law. So I always tell people, what are you waiting until New Year's to better yourself? Stop waiting till New Year's, right? Stop giving yourself a fictional time, a fictional perfect time where everything's going to work. Work on yourself right away. You know, this is something that you want to do. If you, this is a skill set that you want to have, you want to put in your toolbox. What is the date going to do? Like January 1st is going to do nothing if your mindset is the
Well,
same.
I can say something about January 1st. January 1st requires a little bit of preparation. You don't just dive into January 1st. You have to have some things in place to make sure that January 1st has the punch that you want it to have. The other thing that I would say is that for those of us who are in business, we know that we have to close out our financial year in a very careful way. One way that we can do that is by investing now in the projects and programs that we need, that we can write off as a business expense. We have to do it now before December 31st. I learned that one from one of our amazing accountants in Our Ladies Power Lunch group. I've learned that you kind of have to spend down at the end of the year in order to make sure as an entrepreneur that you don't end up with this huge tax bill. And so
Mhm.
one of the ways that you can invest is investing in yourself and investing in learning the things that you need to learn in order to grow your business for the following year. Speaking is definitely a great way to grow your business, and speaking effectively is definitely the way to go, because you could speak and nobody hears or understands what it is that you're saying. It could happen. So, who is this for, Cornell? Who are you hoping will be interested in attending this event?
Well, for me, I would love it's for obviously entrepreneurs like ourselves. It's for anybody that is in upper management, CEO level, managers in general that have to present in front of an audience. Even if it's for the person that it has to sell, like on a one-on-one basis, right? Even be able to have a conversation with someone. There's people that struggle on a one-on-one basis to present what their ideas are. I when I first started speaking, I dealt with so many people in the direct marketing, right, and the direct sales, and like these people, like they had such a hard issue. Like, well, how do I get what I want to say out without sounding so salesy, or how do I have this conversation without having? It's like again, it's us getting over ourselves, right, and it's us being able to articulate our message and not talk in this long circle of words instead of getting to the point and saying, okay, this is what the point of this conversation is. This is why we're talking today. So that's my main thing is you can eliminate so much fluff and get right down to the nitty gritty and engage people. You don't have to, sell them, my mom used to say wolf tickets, right? Like you don't have to sell them a bunch of fluff. You can kind of, it starts with a relationship. It starts with getting to know people and understanding the person in the audience that you're talking to.
I love that. What are the main takeaways that they're going to get from this program?
Yeah. I think one of the biggest ones is that fear of speaking in public or the fear of having that conversation. um, Learning tips of like again to get out of our own way, finding what your story or your message really is. Because I get that a lot where it's like, I don't really know what I want to say. Okay, well, let's get into it, right? Let's get into you. Let's get into your background, right? Let's get into your business. What is your mission? What are your core values? What is it that you want to portray to the audience that you're speaking? And I think the last one is just stage presence, right? It's They can see you speak and they can say, "Oh, well, she just has it naturally." It's not natural. It's something that you practice, right? You've practiced getting up and speaking in front of people. I've put in tens of thousands of hours into speaking, into movement, into modulation, right? All these things, into mojo, like having the confidence to go out there, and when I mess up a word or I might stutter in a sentence, not to be like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I messed up." Like being able to have that bounce back ability where you can go through those kind of hiccups that you have in your talk, right? And then putting your story together. What is it like? What is it do we want to say? Okay, well, there's like just like a book report. There's an intro, in the middle, and a conclusion, right? How can we engage them in the beginning, right? Get their interest in the beginning. How can we keep them in the middle, and how can we give them a takeaway at the end, right? Like, so all these things that I would speak, that I would be teaching, that I usually teach in a 3-month course, we're kind of just getting it into this big workshop.
So they're getting like content that's 3 months worth of content in one workshop. I think that's amazing. And then they have the opportunity to decide if they want to have some one-on-one time with you so that they can pick the brain of the expert. I think we don't take advantage of that often enough. I think that's something that we allow to slip through our fingers. Look, guys, something that I know is true. I know that if the desire has been born in you to do something specific, the way to do it also exists. One of my very dear mentors, Darla, loves to say that, and it's true. There are opportunities around us all day long. All day long, we have opportunities. And so many times we're so caught up in our own stories and the things that are going on that we miss out on opportunity. I believe this is an amazing opportunity for those of you who would want to take advantage of it. So I would suggest reaching out to Cornell and hopping on board to this outstanding program. Cornell, how can they connect with your program?
If you go to www.cornell, Cornell with 2Ls, Thomas.com, you go on our website, it's there. You can also email me at cornellthomas365@gmail.com, probably the fastest and easiest way. And then I can give you the information. And then we go from there. And even though we're having 8 people in person, we will have open slots if you want to do a hybrid portion of it. So if you can't make it, but you want to do it online, then because you won't be in that space, we'll be taking people that way as well. But we will be physically taking 8 people on both Friday and Saturday, and the VIP is first come, first serve. The first 8 that sign up and say, okay, we want to be part of the VIP package, will go. So it's 8, 8, and 8. We won't have
Okay.
any more than that.
And I'm going to ask the question that's on everybody's mind. What is the investment for this program?
Uh, the investment, I believe, and I don't have it in front of me, which is shame on me. I believe the investment is $250 for a regular ticket, and I think the VIP ticket is a little bit more, so it's $250 for the day.
Okay. So, guys, you heard it here first. Breaking news. Cornell has a new program that he is offering just for this one weekend, December 10th, 11th, and 12th. If you would like to know more, I invite you to go on over to his website, cornellthomas.com, and that's with 2 L's because that's some extra love over there. We love and appreciate you, Cornell. And I am going to be so bold as to say that we're going to invite you to come on over to Ladies Power Lunch next year in the 2022 and have you talk to our visibility circle group, because I think the thing that they're doing is something that really resonates really well with what you are offering. So I'm looking forward to you being on one of our calls coming up in 2022. That's going to be really wonderful. Guys, check out Cornell's stuff. He is one of those people who, when I will always pick up the phone for. You guys know I can't even figure out how to use my phone half the time, but if I see Cornell calling, I'm going to try to figure out the technology and take that call. So I, from my heart to all of your hearts in Ladies Power Lunch, remember the people who are in our group are amazing. We forget sometimes because there's a little bit of contempt that the familiarity of our group breeds. We all know each other and we joke around with each other all day long in the group every day. And we forget that the people that we're hanging out with are amazing. They have amazing credentials. They have amazing things to share with us, to teach us, to help us to elevate our businesses. And why not take advantage of the wonderful programs and processes that they're able to offer us? Cornell, any final words for us before we go?
Yes, thank you so much. For one, allowing me to be part of this group, because you have an amazing group of human beings with you. And just for you, just always showing up for me, regardless, rain, sleet, snow, or hail. I really
I remember that hail day.
and thank
Inside joke, guys.
inside joke, but thank you for being there for me always.
Thank you so much. Everybody have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll see you guys on the next show. Bye, everybody.